Prince George is a young boy who will be the King of England one day. Everyone in the world is very curious to see what kind of man he will grow up to be. People wonder if he will be a strong leader and a kind husband. While George is preparing for his big future, Meghan Markle is also very busy. She is working on her own special show for Netflix. She says she feels very happy because her children come to visit her while she is working. It makes her feel loved to have her family near her while she tries to make her own way in the world. Usually when a royal baby is born, everything follows a very old set of rules. This happened for the children of Prince William and Princess Catherine. Every birth was recorded and shared with the public in a very clear way. There were no secrets, but then Meghan Markle said 12 words that changed everything. She was at a secret meeting in Hollywood with people who plan how the news works. She thought her words would stay private in that room. She said, "Archie has more spark than George. He was made for the spotlight." She believed she was just talking to friends, but she was very wrong. Within only 3 days, the royal palace gave a big response. They did not make a speech or have a big press conference. Instead, they did something very quiet that surprised everyone. They went to the official royal website where the list of future kings and queens is kept. Suddenly, 2 names were just gone. Archie and Lilibet were not on the list anymore. There was no note to say why it happened. They were just erased. This sent a big message to everyone. It showed that the palace was very serious and that things had changed between them and Meghan. This was only the beginning of the big story. There are many secrets coming up, like missing papers and money that does not make sense. There is even a secret letter from Queen Elizabeth that was never meant to be seen by the public. Meghan was at a private meeting in California with people who are experts at telling stories in the news. They know the difference between a little joke and a big attack. Meghan was acting very relaxed and thought she did not have to be careful. She talked about her son versus the boy who will be king one day. She dropped her comment into the conversation like it was a normal thing for a mom to say. She acted like she was just a regular parent. But she was talking about Prince George, the boy who will have to lead a whole country when he is older. The people in the room were not gossip writers, they were experts who understand how words can hurt. As soon as she said those 12 words, the trouble began. People started telling others right away, and the news spread much faster than Meghan expected. If anyone else had said those words, it might have been okay. People might have said she was just proud of her son. But since it was Meghan Markle, it was different. People remembered how she had already attacked the royal family on television before. She had a very bad relationship with the palace for a long time. So her comment about George did not seem like a small mistake. It seemed like a fight. Everyone in the room knew she was starting something big. You might think the palace would get mad in public, but they stayed very quiet. The palace was not ignoring her though. They were busy making a plan. Only 3 days after she spoke, the names of her children were taken off the royal website. They were there one day and totally gone the next. There was no one to explain what happened to the news. For people who watch the royal family, this move said a lot. It showed that the palace was very angry and was not going to play games. The royal family has been around for 1,000 years and they follow strict rules. Erasing names is a very big deal. The story of how Archie was born is also very strange. We were told he was born in a London hospital in May of 2019. It seemed like a normal story that everyone believed, but later some secret papers were found from a doctor's office in California. These papers were from April of 2019, which was weeks before Archie was born. The papers talked about using a surrogate, which is a person who carries a baby for someone else. This was a very big secret that nobody was supposed to find. Meghan's name was on the papers, but not as the birth mother. She was listed as the intended parent. This means she wanted the baby, but she might not have carried him herself. This detail changed the whole story of Archie's birth. There was also something weird about his baptism. Usually, every royal baby has a big church party that is written down in official books. But for Archie, there was no record of a ceremony like that at all. Every other royal baby has photos and documents, but Archie's were missing. All the public ever got was one single photo of the family by a fireplace. It did not look like a big royal event. The baby was wearing a special outfit, but things just felt a bit off. At the time, people thought Harry and Meghan just wanted their privacy. They said they wanted their children to have a normal life away from the cameras. Most people believed them and moved on. But when the papers from California were found, the privacy excuse looked more like a way to hide the truth. The papers showed that Meghan was at a baby center in California weeks before the birth in London. This was not just a rumor, it was real paperwork with names and dates on it. Having a baby through surrogacy is a very nice thing, but the royal rules are very old and strict. In the royal family, a baby must be born to the mother to be in line for the throne. If the story was different than what they told us, it would be a huge problem for the family and their history. Meghan had a plan to show her children on social media, but by the time people started talking about the baby papers, there was another big secret. The palace was not as surprised as they looked. They had been watching Harry and Meghan for a long time. When Harry and Meghan left the royal family in 2020, they had a big meeting. They made a deal to keep things quiet and not ask too many hard questions. Both sides wanted to move on and have a clean break from each other. For a little while that deal worked, but then Meghan and Harry did a big interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021. Meghan told a story that made the royal family look very mean. She said they did not help her when she was feeling very sad and alone. The palace was very hurt by this. That interview broke the trust between the two sides. It was the first big problem for their secret deal. Then, in 2022, they made a show for Netflix that made things even worse for the family. In the show, Harry and Meghan told their side of the story again. They said the family let them down and was not kind to them. The palace stayed quiet, but they were getting more and more upset. Then Harry wrote a book called Spare in 2023. This book was very different because it told real secrets and used people's names. The people in the palace felt totally betrayed. They had stayed quiet to be nice, but Harry was telling the whole world their private business. Every new interview and book made the family feel further apart. The trust was completely gone. When the papers about the baby became public, the palace decided they were not going to protect Harry and Meghan anymore. They were done being nice and looking the other way. This had been building for many years. Every time Meghan spoke, the palace got more tired of the drama. By 2026, their patience was totally gone. That is when they found something else that was even more shocking. Up until this point, the problems were about stories and papers. But then a money review found a trail of payments that was very hard to explain. There were payments to a secret company called Arch Genesis LLC. Nobody had ever heard of this company before. There was a lot of money involved, like $95,000 for a baby agency and $110,000 for other fees. There was even $195,000 for medical bills. These were very big amounts of money for very specific services that the public did not know about. The timing of the money matched the time Archie was born. The payments were made during the same weeks he was supposedly born in London. But the most surprising part was where the money came from. It came from the budget used to fix up their house, Frogmore Cottage. That money was supposed to be for their home, not for secret baby bills in another country. This turned a family fight into a big problem about money and how it was used. This was about more than just hurt feelings now. There were dates and amounts of money and a trail of paper. The people in the palace realized this problem was not going to go away by itself. While this was happening, Meghan was busy making her own business moves. She started a new company in California called Royal Reclamation. She wanted to sell things like baby clothes and books. She even made a t-shirt for toddlers that said, "Future Monarch, just not yours." This was a very clear attack on the royal family. She also made a video of her son Archie running in a field with royal-style music playing. The video showed old clips of the Queen in the background. It said that royal blood always fights back. Everything was planned to be a big statement. Meghan also wrote a children's book about a boy whose royal title was stolen from him. The book was very clearly about her own son and her own feelings. When Princess Catherine saw this, she knew it was a big attack on her family. The palace told Meghan she could not use any royal symbols or titles for her new business. They were very firm about this rule. The royal family does not fight with words like celebrities do. They use their actions to show how they feel. In February of 2026, Catherine wore a very special pin that belonged to Queen Elizabeth. It was a message that she was the real future of the crown. She did not have to say anything about Meghan. The jewelry she wore said it all for her. Everyone who knows about royal history understood the message right away. It was a very smart move by Catherine. King Charles also made his own private decisions about the family. Catherine did an interview where she said that every child deserves love, but not everyone is born to be a leader. She said being a leader is about working hard for others, not about drama. She did not use Meghan's name, but everyone knew who she was talking about. A few days later, Princess Charlotte went to visit a school. She was holding a folder that said "Future of the Crown." It was a small moment, but it showed that the family was just moving forward and doing their jobs. There was no drama or big social media campaign. One side was complaining and making videos, while the other side was just living their lives and helping people. Then a very special secret letter from the Queen was found. It had been sitting in a secret spot for a long time. The letter was in a cream-colored envelope with a red wax seal. It was written by Queen Elizabeth just a few weeks before she died. On the back, it said it should only be opened when the family was going through a very hard time. The letter was very simple and did not use many fancy words. It was the Queen's final wish. The letter said that royal titles are not just things you get because you want them. She said they must be earned through hard work and duty. She wrote that those who leave their jobs in their country cannot have royal privileges. She signed it with her official royal name. This letter was a very big deal. It showed that the Queen had planned for these problems before she passed away. She named George, Charlotte, and Louis as the children who would lead. She did not name Archie in the letter. This was a very final message to everyone. For Meghan, this letter was like a door being shut forever. She had spent years saying the family was mean to her children, but the Queen's letter said that titles are about duty, not feelings. After this, Meghan's new business began to have problems. She tried to start a podcast, but it was taken down. She used a photo of Prince George without asking, and it was deleted. She even did a live video where she had a crown on the table, but it looked just like a crown Princess Charlotte had worn. People on the internet started making fun of her and calling her names. Harry went to visit his aunt, Princess Anne, but the meeting was very short and did not go well. Princess Anne said that you cannot fix things with people who use tricks and bad tactics to get what they want. People started leaving Meghan's business one by one. The excitement for her brand was gone, and the Queen's letter was at the center of the whole mess. It said everything that needed to be said about the future of the royal family. It all started with 12 words in a private room: Archie has more spark than George. Meghan thought she was just talking, but she started a huge problem that broke open years of hidden tension. Her plan was to make people compare the two boys and feel sorry for Archie. But the palace did not act the way she expected them to. They did not get angry in public, they just got quieter and more careful. Every move Meghan made to help her own story actually ended up hurting it. Her business did not get love, it got a bad reaction from the public. Her shows were pulled from the internet. The palace just kept moving forward like they have for 1,000 years. You cannot beat a family that has been around for so long. You can make a lot of noise and do big interviews, but the royal family will always be there long after the news changes. The Queen knew exactly who she could trust with the future of the country. She named George and Charlotte as the ones she trusted to do the right thing. This was not about being mean to Archie or